This is a great opportunity to get to know who Brian Kohberger is, not only because we get to hear him speak quite a bit, which is rare, but also because he's interacting with a female officer.
Hello,
Hello,
officer.
I am Officer Loangus. Stops being audio and video recorded. I think you know why I stopped you. You ran the red light.
What actually happened was I was
The officer lets him know that he's being recorded, which I think has bearing on how he reacts. Brian instantly disagrees with the officer. He says his first words are actually. And so he's subtly disagreeing with her just within seconds of the conversation. He comes off as someone who does not like to be wrong about anything, okay? And this is common among uh, students who are perhaps high achievers or have always been at the top of the class and are expected to be right about everything. And so that transfers into their everyday life, okay?
stuck in the middle of the intersection,
Yeah,
so I was
I was
forced to
behind you
turn
the whole
left.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So technically, you're not supposed to enter the intersection at all for that reason, because if the light turns red, then you're stuck in the intersection, and then you run the red light. So that's the reason I stopped you. Do you have your license on you?
Yep.
Do you have the registration and insurance?
Let me just get this for you out.
You what?
I'm just gonna get this out for you.
Okay.
Okay, his rebuttal did not slow down the momentum of the traffic stop at all. Okay, and so she still asked him for his license and registration. And so he appears to be courteous, but really he's regaining control or power of the situation by stating he's going to take his license out of the holder for her. Okay, he's going to do the work. You're telling me what to do, but now I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Okay, so there's a little issue with power or control there.
So would you explain that to me a little bit further? So in Pennsylvania, when you're stuck like in the intersection, you have to make the left. So what would the appropriate thing for me to?
Okay, he's given his credentials, but now he's telling her what to do. Could you explain to me? Okay, could you explain to me? Now, it's not about the intersection. It's about taking control of this event, even though the police officer is in authority over him in this situation. So he's putting her to work, okay? It's sort of like reverse psychology, okay? He needs to feel like he is the one in authority here, regardless of why she stopped him. It's unacceptable that he did something wrong and that he's being rebuked. And I think this would have been the case whether it was a female or a male officer.
Done been
Not.
just
You're
back
not
up in that
supposed to
situation?
block an intersection like that in Washington. So
The re-
just by you blocking the intersection, that's technically a ticketable violation. And then you're running a red light. So it's another ticketable offense. So you're not supposed to proceed into the intersection until you can go. Because a lot of people do what you just did, right? Is like you're sitting in the intersection waiting, and then it turns, and then you're blocking. So
yeah, there was a little bit of confusion with speeding because someone had stopped. I wasn't sure what they were doing, and then they put on their light to turn.
Mhm.
So I thought that maybe they were letting me go through.
Oh,
Did you see that?
Okay, in his mind, he's in the power seat. He is running the show right now. She's not an authority anymore. She's explaining herself, something she doesn't have to keep doing. So he, quote unquote, lets her explain while he glances away, deciding if what she's saying is acceptable. Then he recalls something from the incident and asks her, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" Okay, even though he's speaking politely, he's being a classic narcissist. And I guess she's being polite, explaining they're both aware that they're on camera, but she's not obligated to jump through these hoops, okay?
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like right before I made the turn, there was someone who like made a right. And they didn't have their their signal on, so I wasn't sure if they were just waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would just advise just don't enter the intersection until you can go, so you don't.
Okay, he's looking her dead in her face now. All right. Remember, this is being recorded. They both know this is being recorded. So now he's pointing out that someone in front of him turned without a signal. Okay, why didn't she stop that person? Okay, how come you stop me, but not that person? That person caused me to be in the wrong. Okay, he's just dragging it. Okay, the officer finally realizes you need to get off of this train. Okay, because I mean, if somebody in front of him did, break a traffic law and she's got him pulled over, that is kind of problematic.
Don't get stuck. Let's see.
But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up and not.
I don't know if there's a best thing to do in that situation, because you're either going to back up into somebody or you're going to run a red light. So, or you're going to be sitting in an intersection.
Yeah.
There's not really a great option there.
Yeah, I was just slightly into the crosswalk, so where I'm from Pennsylvania, we actually don't have like crosswalks.
Oh,
so even if you're kind of slightly, there's a little bit more leeway as well. Like there.
Okay, now we have a brand new reason why he's not wrong. Pennsylvania doesn't have crosswalks. Okay, it's like he's not allowed to be wrong, to make a mistake. If he doesn't justify this traffic stop in his mind and have the last word, he won't be able to sleep tonight.
There are a few lines. Like there's one white line and there's another one in front. Like there's like a certain margin from which you can actually kind of put your vehicle, place your vehicle.
Yeah. So I know laws vary state to state, but there is a law in Washington for blocking an intersection like that, proceeding through when you don't when you're just stalling. I forget the actual verbiage. I can find it for you, but it's like stalling, blocking an intersection.
Yeah. I'm just curious about the law. I don't mean to.
Oh no, yeah, I can find it for you. Yeah.
But,
1 second. That looks good on a Hyundai. I don't see Pennsylvania registration like at all. Okay, let's see. Expires November 22nd or 2022. Okay. And
one of those is actually.
yeah, okay, that looks good. I'll hand that back to you. I'm just gonna go check your info. I'll try to find that RCW, the law for you, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, he has begun to nod his head in an affirmation to what she says, although verbally he's challenging what she says. He's run out of testimony, so now it's time for the verdict, okay? Is he going to get a traffic ticket or not? Okay, do you really want to see me in traffic court in front of a judge? I think not.
Control signal indications to proceed. So you had a green light, so you're thinking you can go, but you're blocking the intersection. Yeah. So that's if you're ever curious in any laws in Washington, just Revised Code of Washington. So I'm not writing a ticket or anything like that today. I understand you're from Pennsylvania, but in the future, don't proceed through the intersection. You can't get stopped for that alone unless you can.
Okay, he won. He's not going to get a ticket. Okay, she tells him his Pennsylvania crosswalk foolishness is what worked for him. Okay, after all, a judge might let him slide if Pennsylvania has absolutely no crosswalks. Okay, most people would want to get their ticket and go, but Brian couldn't do that without gaining a mental win over her in the conversation.
Drivers do it all the time, but
it never even occurred to me that was actually something wrong. But
Okay, it never occurred to me that I was doing something wrong. Okay, he's never wrong. He's won the fight over the traffic ticket, yet he still has to add this narcissist signature and summary. Okay, well, this video is limited to 10 minutes in VD, so I gotta go.